Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Cara. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today for another Mimosas and makeup. I'm filming this super early because I have a family party to go to on Saturday and I'm just not sure when I'm gonna get the chance. So right now I am drinking this orange mango sparkling ice. I know it's kind of boring, but you know, hopefully I got the mimosa going right now. So today I am going to be doing my July roundup, just talking about everything that I used this month, whether it's new or old, and how I'm feeling about it. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with someone that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I would love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So one of the things that I really do enjoy about the makeup roundup is that it's like a favorites and fails all in one. But I love just looking at what I've been using and whether it's new or whether it's old, you know, old in the makeup world. It really helps me to understand like what I like and what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling about things, yeah, at the moment. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with a couple of like skincare things first. So first, let's start with the Ultra Restore Body Butter with Hyaluronic Acid by the brand Kopari. Now this came in the most recent Trend Mood box. And this does have prickly pear and coconut oil in it. I know some people don't react well to coconut oil, so that is something important to note. But this body butter smells so good. Like it does smell like coconut, just like vanilla, coconut cupcake. I don't know. It smells like all of that. And I just use it as my body lotion. I don't know if there's necessarily anything special about it. I use my Jergens. I keep telling y'all, I always use my Jergens. So again, this came in the box and I'm going to continue to use it. I love how it makes my skin feel and I really love the smell. I don't think it's overly, you know, smelly. It's the perfect kind of smell for me. I love like them cake and vanilla type smells. So this was really nice to have. And it's something that I wouldn't have purchased on my own. So I'm glad I got that Trend Mood box, and those are nice to experience some new products. And I've gotten several things in Trend Mood boxes that I've really come to love. Next, for skincare, I may have mentioned this. I'm trying a new eye cream. This is the Kiehl's Super Multi-Corrective Eye Zone Treatment. And this is a cream for your brow bone, eyelid, outer corner, and under eye. This one was kind of pricey, but I think that it's really great for keeping that under eye area moisturized. And it says our multi-corrective eye cream targets all 4 eye zones to visibly lift the brow bone area, smooth the eyelid, firm the outer corner, visibly reduce crow's feet, and brighten the appearance of the under eye. So it has proxylane, collagen peptide, and bilberry extract. So it's supposed to do those things and, you know, help your appearance be youthful. And this is what it looks like. I definitely would repurchase this one, but you only need a little bit. But I have definitely, how long does eye cream last? I think I'm heavy-handed, y'all. I think I'm really heavy-handed because I just need to last a little bit longer. All right. Oh, one more skin product. And I don't think I mentioned this last month. Maybe I did. Sometimes I lose track. But even if I did, I am using this a lot. This is the Natasha Denona Hygiene Energizing and Hydrating Primer Serum. Now, if you can recall, there was an issue with the brand Skin Glass Beauty because Natasha Denona used the term skin glass. I believe that since then, Natasha Denona has removed the name Skin Glass from her product. This is a serum primer. The Skin Glass product, which I think I mentioned in another video, is a highlighting oil, but you can mix it with foundation, blush, and things like that. This one, it strictly says, or you know, to put it on your skin right before the moisturizer. So this isn't something that I think you're going to put on top of your skin. Like that's what I did with the Skin Glass product. I put it on top as a highlighter, things like that. I would not necessarily put this on top, but I think both products can be mixed in others to give you that glow. I really like this. When I put it on my face, it's just very dewy and glowy. I don't know how this works on oily skin. I have pretty balanced skin and it's just regular. So it's neither dry nor oily. So I don't have any idea of how this would be on oily skin. So I just wanted to note that in case you were curious about this product. But let me just show you. So there it is. It's, like I said, serum-like, and it's very, very dewy. I mean, it does have a very similar consistency as the Skin Glass Beauty product, but I use them two different ways. I really do like it and will continue to use it. Now, the one foundation I think that's been the highlight of the month for me is the Pat McGrath foundation, Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. I have two shades. Initially had bought medium 17, and then at another Sephora sale I bought 15. It probably needs 16, but this kind of makes the perfect shade for me, and I'm wearing it now. And with the release of the Mothership 10, I started pulling this foundation out and used it with the palette. Other than that, this month, what have I been using? I haven't really been doing my makeup a whole lot. Oh, let me grab one other foundation stick because I forgot to bring that out. Give me 1 second. Well, unfortunately, I cannot find it, but I was able to purchase a Westman Atelier foundation stick off of Macari for like 45 bucks. And I think it is so great, like when you want to just have kind of an even complexion, but nothing heavy, and you're just running out. As I was saying, I haven't been doing my makeup every single day. Sometimes I'm just out in the yard. Sometimes I'm just running to the store, just doing something small, and I'm not filming, you know? So sometimes I like to just put that on. And I really like that because it doesn't even go over my whole face. It just goes over certain areas. I like to place it like right under here, almost as a concealer, and just have my face bare. So I have really enjoyed that, I guess, to the point where I don't know exactly where it is. But those two things I have been using for the most part this month. The full face of foundation has really just come with me getting ready for the Pat McGrath palette and everything like that. And I just kind of fell in love with the Pat McGrath foundation. It is a serum-like foundation with medium coverage. So it's, I don't know if you can see it, it's very, very thin, very lightweight. It's runny. I think the coverage is great for me, and I just like it. And I kind of forget about those things when you're trying out so many other things. So I just wanted to highlight that. So since we're talking about foundation, now I want to talk about the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch Tint. I have these in two shades, B40 and B30. I think these are great for a no makeup fresh look. They're really hydrating. They are made up of a high percentage of water. And the one thing that I just don't think people may be a fan of is breaking apart the pigments so that you can put it on. So there it is there. You can see it and it looks really dark. But the one thing that I realized is that when you break up the pigments, it kind of gets lighter, and B40 was a perfect shade for me. Chanel needs to do a way better job with their shade descriptions. It's hard to tell what shade you're gonna wear, and the shades, like the shade that I take in the Skin Tint foundation was not the same as this product. So a B50 would have been way too dark, and then I would have been mad. Now the B30 is a great shade for me for a concealer. There it is. And you can see the difference between B40 and B30 is crazy. Like, there needs to be like a B35. But again, this is good for like a fresh look. You got to run out or something like that. They came with these little dainty brushes that I didn't care for. But if you only want to put the product on certain areas, you could use this for that. But I was not a fan of that. And let's just stick with the Chanel products. I did get 2 of the Water Fresh blushes. I like these too. And the thing is, I think the lighter shades probably did not really have the best amount of pigment, but I picked 2 of the deepest shades and I thought that they worked well. So this is Deep Apricot, and I have a video on this. You can see that. And same thing, you got to break up the pigments in order to put it on. I just don't know if somebody wants to do all this artwork and all that. You know, when you're trying to get ready, you're getting a little bit messy. I mean, you can break it up with the brush, I guess, and then put it on like that. But if you don't want to do that, I would not recommend these products, but I think they look really nice on. They feel good on, and they're really light. I think they're great, like for the summertime. I would wear that to the pool. How about that? That's what I can say. I would wear, not sure if I talked about this in the last video, the highlighter fluid. Love this liquid highlighter. It has a little pump. It's great. I think it is a very natural highlighter. And I think this is something, again, that you can mix within other products. It's lighter than the Auric Glow Lust. I remember talking about that. And if you want something that just weighs a little bit less, this would be your product. This is probably comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter type product. Actually, no, I don't think it is. Never mind, because this only comes in 2 shades. So never mind. This is a highlighter, and that's that. All right. And then I also got the highlighting stick too, the Balm Essential in the shade Sculpting. Yes, I love this. This is again a highlighting stick where I just take it on a brush. Don't put the stick on your face unless you have bare skin, and you could just tap it on like that, and it just gives you a subtle natural glow. I really like this too. All right, I think that's it for the nope, there's one more Chanel product right here, and that'll take us into bronzers. This may be one of my favorite purchases of 2022. This is the Chanel Sunkissed Oversized Powder in Sun Bath. This is the deepest shade, and I also now have medium. This is just the best. I don't know what this texture is. I don't know what it's called, cream to powder. I don't know, but I just love that I don't have anything that's this texture at all as far as a bronzer. I'm really trying to think, but I either have a cream bronzer or a powder. I don't have this. And I just love how it goes on the skin. It is really nice. Chanel needs to come out with a better shade range, and I really hope that they do, because this is not gonna fit. The lighter people were taking the deep shade, so it was just, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that light shade. Maybe it could be an all over powder for me or something like that. But the medium and the deep show up on me. I would love to see Chanel expand this, because I think it's really nice. This is like my favorite bronzer. It makes it hard for me to go for anything else. It's just easier to put on like than the cream ones. You don't have to do a whole lot of maneuvering. I think it looks great on the skin, and it's not messy or anything like that. So I love this. I did purchase a bronzer from Acne that I just ended up finding. This is the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer in Gold Dust. And I got this for 40 bucks because I think this bronzer is really expensive, over $100 or something ridiculous. I mean, I buy a lot of ridiculous things. But this is it here. And it's nice, but it's powdery. This is, like I said, gold dust, yeah. I think it's okay. You probably can't see it. I mean, for $40, it's fine. But I feel like this kicked up a lot of powder. Not that powder's an issue, but I'd rather go with the Chanel one. But I think this was nice. This one has like a nice little, it has like a little sheen to it. You probably can't even see it, but it does have a bit of a sheen to it. And I think it gives my skin just a nice little golden hue. So I'm not mad that I bought it. I would have been mad if I paid regular price, but I think it's cool. But the Chanel one definitely wins out for sure. All right, so we've kind of gone a bit out of order. So let's try to have some order here. Let's go into blushes. I was talking about the Chanel blushes. I have this blush from Westman Atelier, another one that I found on Mercari or Poshmark. This is the shade Petal, and that's what it looks like. And that's the shade right there. I think it's just a really beautiful blush shade. Isn't anything special? No. Do you need it? No. I just wanted to try the brand out. I always hear really great things, but I really can't pay full price, especially for something like this where I know I probably have this shade, but I do use it. I take it on a brush or I take it on my fingers and just tap it in. I think it's a really nice blush and I like the finish. Another cream blush that I really love that's not new is my Cheeky Posh by Victoria Beckham in the shade Roller Skate. And that's what it looks like. This is another really nice blush. It's a little more vibrant than Petal. Definitely need to get that on a sale because that's another spendy brand, but I really do like the Victoria Beckham products and I like this blush. I've only ordered from Victoria Beckham one time, so I've had this blush for some time and just, you know, wanted to bring it out to use it this month, and I really still like it. An oldie but goodie blush that I brought out was my Melt Cream blush in the shade Sandy Cheeks, and the reason that I brought this out was because one of the owners of Melt, Laura Oriano, was showing how you can put this under the eye. Like you put your concealer on and then you put this on underneath and then you have like this beautiful peachy under eye, and I love that, and I tried it and I really like that. I don't know if that's a trend or what, but she's a really, really talented makeup artist, and I like to try some of the things that she does. But Sandy Cheeks is just a beautiful peachy color right here, and I love these cream blushes. I know Melt just came out with 2 new shades, but I didn't get any of those. I don't need any more of these, but the ones that I have a lot of them. They're really nice blushes, and they're probably some of the best cream blushes I've tried. Last but not least, for blush, I have a Pat McGrath blush duo, and this was sent to me by my friend Miri, who is here on YouTube, and this is in Venetian Sunrise. This, I believe, is the lightest color in the duo. She wasn't sure if it was going to work on my skin, but it does. It is a pinky lilac color, but this is the type of shade that could appear ashy on some skin tones. I have a blush almost this color from Unearthly Cosmetics from the Sleepover collection, and there it is. I really do like how this one looks on. If I was buying one of these, I was going to get the Paradise Glow. I probably wouldn't even have looked at this, but having it, I'm definitely going to wear it, and I really like how it looks on. Let's talk about a couple nail polishes. I've only done my nails like once in the past few months. So this is number 933 from Chanel Le Vernis, and it's a coral shade. And then I have this one from Essie, is called Blanc 008, and I had just done like some of my nails the coral color and then like 1 or 2 nails white, something like that. I love this combo, and I really love this coral shade on. Can we find this somewhere else for cheaper? Yes, we can, but it looks really nice on. And I've been using this Sally Hansen double duty base and top coat, and some of you have been suggesting really good base and top coats, so I'm gonna look into those because it really discourages me from painting my nails when they don't stay, and I do a lot with my hands, so that's, you know, it's kind of frustrating because for me to even have time to paint my nails, I don't have the time. Let's talk about brushes, and it's been some time, and I meant to mention these a while back. These are the Sydney Grace brushes, and I'm missing a couple because like the bronzer brush is in my little favorite brushes over there for my face, and I have one of the eye brushes over here, the shader brush. These brushes are great, and that's why I'm like trying not to purchase that Sonia G mini Kiyaki set. Not that they're the same type of brushes, but like I have some really good brushes, and I think these are great. I didn't have any doubt at all that when Sydney Grace was coming out with brushes that like they would be anything short of amazing. I think that everything Sydney Grace comes out with is excellent quality, and these are no exception. I really love the face brushes, and I like them all. I like them all. And the really nice thing about this set was, I can't remember how much it was for the whole thing, but then you got to take a percentage off at the launch. So I feel like I got these at a great price. So if you were interested in these, they're really good. I didn't do a video on them because I don't know. I could have. Well, let me know if you want to see these in depth, but they're really good brushes if you are interested. All right, I did bring out an oldie but goodie highlighter palette, and this is by Pat McGrath. This is called the Sublime Skin Highlighting Trio. Nobody really talks about this palette anymore, but it is great. You get a beautiful trio of highlighters here, and they're all good. So we have one highlighter that's that iridescent pinky shade. We have one that's a gold, and then we have a bronze. This is just a really great palette. Oop, did I mess up the gold? Yeah, this is just a great highlighting palette, and I was using the new Mothership, and I was like, let me pull this out. Like, this is really good. You know, she's come out with a bunch of highlighters since then, but I don't know if this was her first stab at highlighters, but I don't know. It's still a good palette, and it's $50 for all three, and you get 3 different shades. And I don't know how much her single highlighters are, but I know some of the ones that I've had have been really expensive. So this is like a cool way to try more than one. And I think the formula is really good, really smooth. I like this. I still do. Yes. Happy to have it. Now, speaking of highlighters, I have these highlighters from Unearthly Cosmetics. These are the Incandescence Duochrome highlighters. These are good. Honestly, looking at these at first, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like these. They look glittery, but they really aren't. They're nice and smooth. I probably wouldn't have purchased all of these shades if I had purchased them myself, just being honest, but I might have gotten one. Let's see. So the shade Gilded, this one's nice. I'm just gonna show you one. There it is. So this might be a bit out there for some folks because you may not want a duochrome highlighter. You may just want something that is, you know, just more natural looking. So, but I think for anyone that likes a duochrome highlighter, I think this one is great. And these highlighters are very serum-like. I thought this was a great addition to Unearthly Cosmetics and their line, and I really love that she's expanding the products that are being created by the brand. I just really like that they weren't glittery because I thought they were going to be glittery, and they're really not. Okay, so that's it for highlighters. Now we're going to talk about some lip products. One product that I purchased a while back that I didn't mention is by Give Beauty by Gwen Stefani. I have bought the shade Tragic Me in her matte lipstick. I was interested in trying her brand, but you know, her signature is the red lipstick, and I just wasn't really into that. So this is the shade here. I don't think this is anything special, to be honest with you. I definitely could have skipped it. I don't think it's bad, but it's not really a standout. I will continue to wear it, and I really do like this shade, but I know I have this shade in my collection a lot because these are my shades. But I just wanted to try the brand. I don't feel like there's anything stand out about the formula. These Pat McGrath lip glosses, I have a lot of them in mini and full size. These are absolutely my favorite lip glosses, and I have been bringing these out all the time. Right here I have Bronze Temptation, Flesh Fantasy, and Divine Rose. I am wearing Bronze Temptation right now. I just love these. They kind of have a little bit of a vanilla scent. They're not overly sticky. They don't cake up. They don't make your lips look all crazy. Like, this is just my favorite lip gloss formula, and I do have some in the full size, but I love these. I'm so glad that I pulled them out. I really do like being able to go back in my collection and just finding treasures and things like, oh my gosh, I forgot about these. So I will be continuing to use these. I also tried some glosses from Nomad Cosmetics. And I hate to say this, but these just were not my favorite. I didn't necessarily like the colors too much, and they were really, really thick, like thick, thick. As my friend Jamie would say, they were really thick. I'm just not sure when I will use these, to be honest. And they're a bit sparkly for me. They don't really have a smell. I just had trouble even getting the product on the doe foot to put on. It was just too much. And I'm not sure if this is Nomad's first time making lip gloss. I'm just not sure. But yeah, they just were not my favorite. There were also 2 lighter colors that I enjoyed better as far as the color. But as far as the formula, these will probably be a no for me. Like, yeah, I just didn't really like these because of how thick and sticky they were. Last but not least, for lipsticks, and I only have one right in front of me, is the Lisa Eldridge lipstick. So this is Meet Me in Berlin. You know, she had her luxuriously lucent lipstick release, and then she had the insanely saturated lipsticks. And oh my gosh, I bought 8 shades, and I'll link that video. I liked every single shade that I tried on. Definitely out of my comfort zone with some of those shades, but they're so beautiful. I will get out of my comfort zone. I will get out of my comfort zone. Strawberry Shock, New Wave, all of them are great. If you want to see what they look like on me, I'll have that video, but I have no regrets about the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. But what I will say is that I think I'm gonna go through the luxuriously lucent ones a lot faster. One of the things that I seem to notice is that the pigment of the lipsticks on the models are really, really built up. So in order to get that level of pigment on your lips, you are going to have to put on several coats. And this is a lipstick that wears away, you know, easily with food and things like that. So it's more like of a balm. When I think about the luxuriously lucent ones, I think of them more as a balm, almost as a chapstick, where it's something I'm going to be applying multiple times throughout the day. The matte formula, the Velvets and the insanely saturated, are a bit different, but if you don't want something that you're going to have to reapply a lot, I would skip these because they are pricey. But I really like the tones that she came out with, and I think they look really nice. So I still don't have any regrets about them at all. I love them all. And I would like to say too that some of those bright shades and deep shades that are in the lucent ones, they are a little more comfortable for me to wear. I'm talking about confidence wise, like Night Thoughts. It was deep, but it wasn't like such a harsh line between the lipstick pigment and my natural lip pigment. So I feel better about wearing those. So yeah, because when it comes to lipsticks, I do a lot more like nude shades and stuff. So like Strawberry Shock, New Wave, Rainbow Spill, those are really bright for me, but I really like the way they look. So yes. And now we are at our favorite part, which are the eyeshadow palettes. I feel like I don't have as many eyeshadow palettes as I usually do. But let's go ahead and get into that. So the first palette I'm gonna start with is by Notoriously Morbid. I never did a video on this palette and probably didn't mention it too much because it was only available for a weekend back in March. It was Friday the 13th, and this is the We Don't Always palette. I don't know if I even mentioned this in a roundup or anything. And the one downside about Notoriously Morbid is that their palettes can be here today and literally gone the next, and they're done. They're not coming back. It would be cool if they brought this one back for the next Friday the 13th. I think that would be awesome because I think this is a great palette. I only did one look with it, and I did film it, but I never put together a video because I was just kind of like, by the time I got my palette, I feel like the moment had passed, and then so many people liked the palette and missed out on it. I was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna film this. And this is definitely one of their really unique palettes and color stories. There's the front, and I don't know what to say. Notoriously Morbid is a very unique brand. Their eyeshadows are very unique. They have a different formula than others that I have experienced. Definitely kind of like that homemade feel and quality. And it's amazing. It really is. I wish this palette would have stuck around a little bit longer so other people could have ordered it. So what's else coming up here? Oh, anyway, yeah. So I wanted to just mention that. I probably tried this back in April. So just wanted to share that though. And hopefully they will bring it back at some point because we do have some more Friday the 13th coming at some point. Next, I have to talk about my Dream Mothership palette. I got so much positive feedback on this, but this palette that I put together is probably one of my favorites. I think if Pat McGrath came out with a mothership like this, I don't even know what I would do. I really don't know. And at the time I made this palette, this was before there was even any sneak peeks or, you know, the reveal of Moonlit Seduction, but I didn't get anything close to this, and that's okay. A girl can dream, and this would be my Dream Mothership palette. I do have a video on this, but these shades are by Davina, by Tara Moons, by Sydney Grace, and they are three of the best when it comes to eyeshadow singles. And right now Tara Moons is taking the cake because the shades that they are coming out with are just out of this world. They came out with a bundle recently and I passed on it, but come Black Friday, I'm gonna have to do something because they're just beautiful. And Davina too, Sydney Grace too. But when it comes to like the duochrome formulas and just different color flips and the texture of the Tara Moon shadows, like they are really buttery and creamy. I don't know how they're doing that with these shades. It is amazing. If you have not tried Tara Moons, I'm not saying you need to try them, but if you were like looking to try them, I would, like, you will not be sorry with whatever purchase that you get. But I enjoy this palette so much. I really do. I haven't even put it back yet. So I really love that. Another palette that I tried, not on camera, is the Quintessence palette. I didn't try it, I used it. I love this palette. This is probably one of my favorite Sydney Grace palettes, and this might be my favorite cool tone palette. I don't really gravitate towards a lot of cool tone palettes, and when this trio of palettes came out, this was the one that I was looking forward to the least, but it's the one that I love the most. I thought I was really gonna like On the Horizon the most, but it's this one. Oh my gosh, like the shades in this are just so galactic and gorgeous. And this is the deep one. I love this palette. Every time I put this palette on, I'm like, oh my gosh, this palette is so bomb. Like, I love this one. I was so happy to bring this out. I had tried it out when I was playing around with the brushes for the first time. And I just love every look I create with this. It just reminds me of just, like I said, the galaxy and space. It's a really beautiful palette. And I still think that this collection, Sydney Grace and Santalia, is one of my favorites. Yes. I also played with two palettes from my beloved Unearthly Cosmetics. So I was sent both of these. We have Leather and Lace, not to be confused with Lavender and Lace, which I always call it. I'll show it to you. It's a beautiful, everyday, grungy lovers dream palette. I love the setup of this because it's just so easy. For me, I just love kind of like the monochromatic type looks. This kind of reminds you of Gemini from Melt Cosmetics. Then you got this orangey road, you got this purple road, 3 shimmers. I mean, it's easy to just put the looks together, or you can mix and match. I think this is a really great palette, and I think it was a great partner palette for All I Ever Wanted Volume 2, which I did not think I was gonna like it better than Volume 1. I'm not saying that I do, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at all because All I Ever Wanted Volume 1 just had such a special place in my heart. But this is so gorgeous. It was such a great pair, these two palettes together. And All I Ever Wanted 2, honestly, it did not disappoint. It really didn't. I think between Volume 1 and Volume 2, I pretty much have everything that I would need or want in a shimmer palette. So, you know, I'm always thankful to Unearthly Cosmetics for sending me things because I have loved that brand like from the beginning. And I just think their palettes are really nice. The color stories are creative and they're easy to use. So yeah, these were just really great partner palettes, and I'm happy that I got a chance to try those. We're almost done. I have the Fête de Provence palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Just like how I felt about the glosses, this just wasn't my favorite palette, and I'm not sure why, but I felt like these shimmers just did not really shim. A couple of them did, like these two dark ones, and a couple of these mattes. I thought the mattes were great. Like this vibrant bottom line was really good. I love this gray purple shade, this gray here. I really didn't have an issue with the mattes at all, but it was really this row or these three shimmers that just didn't really do it for me. I think the color story is cool and I think it's definitely unique, but for me putting it into practice on my eyes, it just didn't really flow for me the way that I would want it to. And I probably have to do, you know, a bit more with this palette, a bit more practicing and using it. But I definitely did not like the shimmers. And I remember that I did not use them with any type of Mayron mixing medium or glitter primer or anything like that. So it may give the shadows a little bit more oomph if I try it again. But I'm honestly not super motivated to use it again. It's just not my favorite palette from Nomad because Nomad makes amazing palettes. They do. But again, as I was saying in another video, every brand's not always gonna come out with what I want or something that I like all the time. It's just like with the Pat McGrath palettes. So this just wasn't a favorite of mine. I think it's a pretty palette, but it's just not something that I'm gonna like feel like I want to jump to use. We have two more palettes left. Next, I want to talk about the Isamaya Industrial Pressed Pigment Palette or Color Pigment Palette. And that's this one with a very edgy packaging. So I did lid swatches of this palette and I did do a look with it. So you can see it looks really used at this point. Overall thoughts about this palette. I think it's a really interesting palette. I really like this color story. It is very different. I don't have a palette that has this kind of color story or these types of textures. I don't think this palette is the most user-friendly. I think it is a very creative palette. And if I had to critique anything, I think these two putty shades could have been different. I really would have loved to see a brown putty shade and a black putty shade, because I know I probably would have really gone for the brown one a lot more than the black. So, and this one is actually like a blue iridescent, but to have them both in the palette and they don't show up super different on the eyes, I didn't need them both. Some of these shades don't swatch very well. I will say that. Like this one here does not swatch well at all. And I'm not sure, but like, I just feel like some of these shades almost had a film on them where I just needed to take some tape and lift it up a little bit. But some of these shades are beautiful. Like this copper shade, gorgeous, beautiful. This shade here, Whip, the glittery kind of taupey shade, gorgeous. This green is beautiful. This one right here. So there are some great shades in this palette. For me, this is going to be a companion palette. I don't see myself using this by itself, and I did pull out some palettes that I thought would be great. Melt Mary Jane would be great with this palette. Not Natasha Denona. Yes, Natasha Denona Biba. Patrick Ta Major Dimension, the first one. Those three palettes I think are going to be like so beautiful with this palette and create some very superior looks, but I don't see myself reaching for this palette on its own. As far as having the palette, I think it's one of the standout releases this year, and it's something different and creative, and I was just happy to get a chance to try it. I am new to Isamaya French. I did not know anything about her, but I'm really glad that I do, because she has done a lot in the makeup industry and she's incredibly talented. I just really had no idea. I do look forward to seeing what kind of releases she's going to create in the future, because I'm not sure if everything's going to be edgy like this. I have a feeling that she's going to do some different things, and I'm definitely watching to see like what she will do and whether or not it's going to be something I would like to add to my collection. And last but not least, which is going to end off this video, is the Moonlit Seduction Mothership 10 palette by none other than Pat McGrath. I did 2 videos on this, and overall I can just tell you that I just feel kind of meh about the palette. I put the looks on and loved them, okay? Just like right now I'm wearing Utopian Dream. I put the looks on and I'm like, this is so gorgeous. But when I look at this palette, I'm not like wowed or like oh my gosh, like I have to have this. I do feel like her inspo matched the palette though. The Moonlit Seduction, you do really kind of get that vibe with the special shades. I did have them here, but you do get that moonlit vibe with this palette. I think the disappointing part wasn't necessarily these shades, but these two. Granted, they perform beautifully, but they're so similar on the eye that I think it was a waste, and that we could have had something different to just give us a different look. Platinum Dusk, I love this kind of antique-y shade. I think it's great. Some people are not happy that there weren't any big shades. I think the special shades in this one they're okay, but there are special shades that she has done in other palettes that I like a lot more. So overall, I'm happy to add it to my other mothership collection. But as far as like the palette itself, looking at it as a standalone palette, I think it's all right. It's okay. It's safe. It's cool tone. It's something you could wear every day. You could wear it out. It is trusty. Trusty is the word that I used. Whereas some of the other Pat McGrath motherships may not give you that trusty vibe. Like Utopian Dream might not give people that vibe, you know. Subliminal might not. Subversive might not. But this one, Divine Rose, those two are kind of like, they're solid, and I think they're great for someone who just wants to pull out something and do something that's easy and that's gonna work. And that's what this palette is. Even though this is a July roundup, you know, I got this one towards the end of the month, so I might go back and talk about this one next month a little bit more. But right now, I'm not wowed, but I'm also not really disappointed. I'm just kind of like whatever. And I don't know if that's good or bad, or maybe it doesn't even matter. But I am happy to always have the mothership palettes. I did showcase 3 looks with this palette, and I did like all 3. So that's saying something too. So that's gonna be it for this July roundup. Definitely let me know in the comments what you're loving. Do you have any favorites this month or fails? Have you pulled anything out of your stash that you want to use more? Let me know. I'm always interested in talking about makeup and seeing what you all are thinking about. And I think that's really it, y'all. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another Mimosas and Makeup. I hope this is therapy for you. It always is for me. So until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.